Cancer, welcome. This is your reading for Libra season, our beautiful season of celebrating beauty itself and relationships and balance and giving and receiving. Just gorgeous energy to step into here. So I hope that you had a wonderful Virgo season. If you didn't catch your reading for that time, it's in the playlist. You can always go back and check it out and see if any of the things that occurred rang true for you. So this reading really evolved out of my chakras ascension reading, and this is sort of the pinnacle of evolving our chakra system to a level that we're just really radiating from our heart space. So all of the chakras have come together, and we have learned to generate beautiful energy that we can share with the world instead of needing to take things from our environment so much. And then I sort of layered the concept of the astrological wheel on this, or integrated it into it as well, so that we could break it into pieces, different rays, I guess we could say, and examine different angles of what's really going on in your reality. The central card really represents the heart space itself, and then I'll work our way through the 1st through the 12th house. So I hope that you'll find this reading beneficial, I guess, for your well-being and how you serve other people. So I've really prepared the cards. I like to shuffle off camera just because I can be a little bit kooky when it comes to shuffling, and being on camera distracts my intuition for that process. So I do pull from the different decks for each position. You can find the decks in the details below if you'd like. And I've taken time to clear the space with my Tibetan bowl, singing bowl. I've saged and I'm burning some frankincense right now. So let's just go into this. I'm not going to read the individual messages for the cards except for this one because it's just really short and sweet. And it says, "You are a living work of art, a most sacred and eternal being, a multidimensional field of energy with no beginning or end. You are a floating island of consciousness, swimming within a cosmic sea of love. Live the dream. Dare to be extraordinary." That seems to ring true for this season for you. So let's see here what we're really getting. I feel like there's a pretty good harmony amongst these cards, like they really kind of step to one another, like there's this almost like a little rhythm going on or something with them. Yeah, it just feels good to be around them too. So you may find that people are enjoying just being in your company during this time. So I see that you have sort of an ecstatic energy in general filling you, and it seems to be more of an energy that you are finding outside of yourself, and that maybe you don't realize that you're creating from within, and then you're seeing it reflected in your environment. And this doesn't feel like a negative energy, it just feels very busy. So you may just be, consumed with the reality of day-to-day life and all the enticements of it and everything that needs your attention. You may also find that you are kind of silently being observed, or you might just have this inkling that you're kind of being watched, and I don't mean it all in a creepy way, but they're like maybe someone has their eye on you type of thing, and it could be that this energy really hasn't made itself known. So it's kind of exciting to see for you. let's move over now to your first house. And you actually have the Libra card for this position, which is about your self-identity and how you are presenting that to the public. I feel like you've sort of conquered something here, and that you have resolved that there's neither a right or a wrong, you know, in a way that those two positions can be flipped and they are identical. You know, there are no polarities, there are no, you know, like this idea of like good or evil, because it's so subjective, you know. It just depends on the position that you're in as to how you judge the other. So there seems to be something here where you are just saying no more. Like, I don't want any more of this fighting. I don't want to participate in arguing anymore. And I value the selfhood of myself, and through that energy I'm going to set the example of how important that is, that the voice of the individual is what's necessary, and the group speak needs to be downplayed, and this polarization, this tendency to put things into opposites, you're just like, nope, not participating in it anymore, because you don't see it as healthy. I mean, this is, out of all the cards in all my sets, and I have probably like 3,500 cards, this is one of the most distraught energies I've seen in any of my cards. It's not a good feeling, and I guess I just praise you for acknowledging that. You know, you're seeing that that is not the way to live. So we'll move now to your second house of value. And again, I'm getting a polarization here, but this doesn't feel, this doesn't seem at all bad. It's more like the polarization that comes through the natural cycle of life. So yes, you know, we have winter and we have summer, we have spring and we have fall. And they stand in opposition. But again, it's not that one's better or worse or evil or good, you know, any of that. It's just that they are what they are. And yes, with our, you know, we can analyze it basically and see through the geometry and how things are placed to one another, that, you know, we can draw these connections through that. But it's like you're celebrating that in a way, like you're saying that is the type of polarity that is natural, that is good, that is part of our reality, and yet it doesn't have to take on meaning outside of it just being outside of its natural function of how it performs within the cycle of, you know, abundance, basically, that in regeneration that happens. I've had a lot of what I feel like are very profound messages coming through this so far, through this, I'm only on the fourth one, but this set of readings for this time. So I really feel that collectively we're all kind of getting big concepts, and I hope that we listen to one another at this time, because I think each person has a bit of the bigger picture, of kind of like an enlightened perspective that we can share amongst the collective now. Let's look here at your third house of communication and community. Here again, I'm kind of getting a little bit of this polarity coming through as well, and there feels like a bit of humor involved here, as if whatever has been such a male presence, like a male energy in reality, you're kind of seeing it as a joke or something. Like you kind of see through it, and in a way you're not seeing it as so powerful. It's losing some of its edge, it's losing some of its authority, and it's becoming softer, it's becoming more nurturing and providing in that way. I think that sometimes we put these attributes on, like male and female, and we design roles around them, and then we come up with like how it should feel. And a male doesn't have to be nurturing only in one type of energy. There are many ways to nurture, and many ways that can feel in a way healthy. So I think that there's starting to be a little bit of fun being brought back in, and wanting to have dialogue around the what's maybe been going on in our environment with all this, what should we call it, the patriarchy, I guess, and in a way taking some of the sharpness out of it. Not that a lot of things that have transpired throughout world history are not very serious, but sometimes to make change, to make necessary change, we have to learn how to use humor as part of the process to sort of deflate the aggression and the defensiveness that would otherwise be there. Okay, so let's have a look now at your 4th house of family and home. And here I could see like there might be a little bit of conflict with someone in your environment. You may have a few people. It kind of feels like extended family. You could also have like a lot of roommates or something, and you may not all be of the same point of view, and it could just feel kind of messy and intertwined. But what I really love about this energy is that there is, like a group energy, and it's so true to life. We don't exist as individuals, and this is just the reality that we endure as we have to interact with other people. It's not energy that just remains stagnant. And also, I think what's really great about this is that you can just feel the fluidity, So it feels that, like, you're in this environment, and just as is reality, people are just kind of changing in and out of moods throughout the day, and that's what's there. It does feel like there's just a lot of focus on the humans in this, so you might be putting a lot of energy there, and not connecting so much to other things in your reality during this time, which may just be because you're just so consumed, I guess, with all this like human interaction. And it's definitely more like on a intellectual level, yeah. So let's look here at your 5th house. This is where you're putting your power out in the world, and the respect that it can garner is being reflected back to you. You're coming off as I want to say a threat, but I definitely get because you're feeling a little bit defensive. So this may be picking up on some of this energy too. And again, it's sort of in a mental energy. You may be backing some of your thoughts with quite a bit of passion. and feel very assisted. You may feel like your thoughts are truth, are like the foundational thoughts, like they're the basis of reality, and you may be sort of really representing that and looking for conformity, looking for people that jive with your perspective. And I don't really feel like there's a lot of action going on here. It almost feels like more like it's in the head game space, even. Like you may not be communicating so much, but you may just be putting the vibes out and the thoughts out. So we'll see if anything else, if this kind of continues throughout the rest of the reading. Now, in your 6th house of daily routine and health, it's sort of like just maintenance. It feels like you are really focused on self-love, that you are acknowledging that you need some downtime, and it's helping you recharge your heart center. And you also feel like you need just a little bit of protection. I'm getting sort of this energy again. You may be wearing a kind of this vibe, this sort of energetic field over your system here, where you just have a lot of like earth energy that is, you know, like of the earth too, not really like water, fire, none of the other elements, but like earth energy that is protecting you. So you may want to earth a bit, you may want to do a little bit of gardening. If you have stones, if you enjoy crystals, you may want to keep those close to you, interact with those, charge those, cleanse those. And yeah, I feel like there's this going deep inside and kind of trying to center as well as protect. Now we're going to take a look here at your 7th house of relationships. This is the Libran energy. And I'm seeing you really want to be in a refreshed energy, more of a childlike, innocent energy that just wants things sort of simple and fairly pure and light and clear. Yeah. You really want clarity in what you're doing, and that softer energy to come through that has just a hint of play to it, kind of like what we were seeing here in the Totally Bananas card. So you may be actually finding this sort of polarity within yourself, even like that need to be calm and centered, and when you're in your energy you do feel like that, but then in a space where you're interacting with other people you may be feeling a fair amount of conflict and getting on the defense and all that. So let's have a look here now at your house of like going deep, really investigating below the surface, anything that's hidden, the secrets. And I see that there's this strong push that just wants to pierce through any inner illusions, any energy that's felt stagnant. There's a big need to release something that you have maybe even kept just pushed away. And this could just simply be energy that you have been storing up and you've never really released. And it feels very like North Node, like it wants to go. It has an aim, it has a purpose. And it really has to do with like your deeper fundamental direction that you want to be taking in life, you know, that it's guided from that deeper space. And I have a feeling that you may not be intellectualizing this, that you may really get a visceral sensation like in your lower parts, like in your root chakra at your base, and you may be feeling this energy. You really want to push up through your central nervous system and just really get out and get released. It feels very subtle, yet very powerful. So I guess it's just telling me like you have a strong sense of inner guidance. Now, when we look at your ninth house, which is about going in a direction that's beyond your comfort zone. I am seeing you again within the collective, and it's like you're all acknowledging the hardship of the world that you've laid out, that you've created, and the inability to really be part of it and traverse it and to be comfortable in it. And there's really no desire to want to participate in this reality. And it feels like together, you're like, hey, we can create something different. We can create a different type of world. And we can make sure that this world is protected. You know, that there's a type of illumination available for it, that these two energies that can interact then, it's almost like a different type of, like a sun and a moon, or the earth and the sun or something, you know, like this energy that sort of orbits and assists another energy. It just feels like it's like you're trying to dream it into being collectively, a new way. And you see that that like being in the reality that you're in is impossible. Like using the ways that you've used to try to get to this new reality will not be possible. You actually have to become and invent and behave differently to get there. You have to transcend these self-imposed limitations that you've created as a collective to have a new world. Now we are going to have a look here at the 10th house. This is really your legacy, what you are contributing to the world stage, the best of what you've got to give. And let us see. It feels like you are very, very much in tune with what is wise. You are led in a way that feels fairly fierce, and fearless. Again, sort of this energy, and you know, the protection energy and the energy here as well. Like it's like you kind of have this natural energy that you've never really maybe been in tune with, that is serving you to transform reality and harvest fruit that doesn't even seem appropriate for what you've been growing. It's like you're acknowledging that going back to this, like, yeah, I can create a new world, and in this world I can plant different types of trees, and those trees are going to harvest this instead of what we used to harvest. It's just totally powerful about, a new world, a new paradigm, a new way of being, and how this energy is both guided by what is possible of the earth, like acknowledging that you have to work with the energy of the earth, and be in congruence with what is actually there, and like the laws of nature, and then work as well with the miracles that can happen within those laws, and the interplay of like the cosmic power and the forces emanating from Gaia. Yeah, that's crazy intense. I've been really looking forward to getting to this card. Now, this is your 11th house. For me, it's about sort of your independence and how it correlates with your interdependence and, like humanity. So this for me feels like it is talking about time and the magnitude of time that we've experienced and how it's been playing out, and things have been taking its natural course, and that it is finite, and that there's this whole structure that just sort of exists, like it's completed itself. The wheel has gone through all the motions it needs to go through, and it's just come to the end of its cycle. And now there is, the great beyond, something different, like raw material to at this like reset point that is just there. Like anything can be created out of it. And it feels like a breath of fresh air coming in, like you can almost now breathe in a different reality, and not only dream into a new reality, but actually live and breathe in a new type of space as well. Now, your final card for this spread is going to be the 12th house of self-transcendence. Again, I'm getting a message of protection, especially around your heart space, definitely coinciding with the energy that's right here. And that's fine. It doesn't feel like you're not opening up to something. You're just acknowledging the importance of protecting the energy there. And you seem to be very clear. Once again, I'm getting the same type of energy I get here and here, and even a little bit here. Like you have this type of mental clarity. You have a really good headspace. You're very well attuned. And again, we're getting the protection around yourself as well, like for your heart and your body and your mind. So I think for the, like the collective, you are really effective this month and affecting, there's some sort of way of like your perspective is good, your understanding how to transform like through your thoughts, like your reality. It helps to change the reality that we all then live in. Like you're very like lit up, like you get it, like you're just high functioning this month. And I guess I'm just saying, like, regardless of any other energy that may feel uncooperative, I think that you may experience that a little bit, but you may also have people with you, like find your tribe, find the people that will build collectively with you, because they are also available. And don't get caught up in trying to manage people that you can't, you know. It just looks like you have a way to serve, you have gifts to be giving, and that is what you need to be focused on. And I think you're going to be able to offer a lot of transformation for the collective. And that feels amazing, especially for a Cancerian reading. And I've said this to some other energies too throughout the last week or two. I feel as if people are having to kind of step out of what they have become accustomed to and really be of other energies that are outside of what is just normative for them. So if you have the courage to do that and you are acting and thinking in that way, thank you so much. And you know, I think the whole collective will be in your graces and be benefiting from your contributions this month, Cancer. So you guys take really good care. I hope that you can join me again for the next set of readings that will come up. And I do have playlists where I have, at least, I don't know, about 6 different types of readings that I do throughout the month. So please feel free to engage in those if you'd like. And I'm sending you blessings, wishing you well, and just hoping that you have a fantastic Libra season.